Before you even took your first breath, your eyes already carried 3 messages from the universe. Messages no one taught you to see, only to remember. There's a reason people pause when they look into your eyes. And it's not about beauty. It's not even about you. It's about something older. Something you carried here before you had a name. You weren't born empty. You were marked, not by accident, but by a frequency so ancient, so precise. It carved itself into your days before you ever opened your eyes. Most will never understand this. That's why you've always felt different. Why people look away quickly, or stare too long, unsure why. Because your eyes don't just see the world. They remember something it forgot. And if you've ever wondered why you feel both out of place and deeply sent here, this might be the moment your soul's been waiting for. Because the signs aren't loud, they're subtle, and they've been there all along. But once you learn to read what your eyes have been whispering, you'll stop searching, and you'll start remembering. Let's begin. Have you ever wondered why certain aches don't fade with time, but deepen instead in silence? Maybe it's not pain. Maybe it's memory. Memory that lives in your gaze. Memory that whispers through your presence. Look into the mirror, really look. Have you seen a kind of ancient sadness, and yet a timeless strength behind your own eyes? That's not your imagination. That's not fatigue. It's a sign. Your eyes carry the echo of eternity. Not just from this life, but from the realms and dimensions your soul walked long before this one. Take a breath. Slowly. Look into your own eyes right now. Yes, even if just for a second. You're not imagining this. You're remembering. It's why you sense what others hide. Why lies feel loud to you, even if no one speaks. Why you're drawn to silence, to depth, to truth. You're not weary, you're aware. And people feel it. They may say, "There's something in your eyes I can't explain." Or they look away, unsettled. Because your eyes don't just look, they remember. They mirror a depth they've been trying to forget. And that kind of gaze? It's not something you learn, it's something you carry. But the eyes don't only see, they awaken. And when that awakening begins to touch others, without words, without effort, something even more mysterious starts to unfold. Have you noticed how strangers sometimes stare at you? Like they know you from somewhere they can't quite place. That's not coincidence. It's resonance, a frequency that's alive in you. One that reminds others of something they've lost, or never met in themselves. Sometimes they'll open up to you, and you'll feel a soul speak before a sentence ever forms. And other times, they'll pull away. Because when someone isn't ready to be seen, your presence feels like exposure. This doesn't mean you're meant to fix anyone. It means you're a mirror, and your gaze awakens recognition without words. You didn't come here to tell people who they are, but your presence silently reminds them, because your soul carries keys, and your eyes are the doorway. But there's something else, even deeper than recognition. Have you noticed what remains, even when there's nothing to say? Even when no one is watching? The stillness. Not the absence of thought, but the presence of center. The silence that doesn't ask for attention, but shifts a room the moment you walk in. Words come and go, but what stays, what lingers, is that still light behind your eyes. The kind that refuses to go out, even in the darkest night. This isn't perfection, this is presence. The soul isn't here to impress, it's here to remain whole. And that stillness you carry? It was forged through every breakdown you thought would break you. It survived where noise couldn't. And now it lives in you, without asking permission. So how do you deepen this? Start with a mirror. 2 minutes of quiet eye contact with yourself. No judgment, no story. Just seeing. Then sit in silence, not to fight thoughts. Just to witness, to notice what watches. And when you're with others, speak less, observe more, feel the energy behind their words. Because your gaze doesn't need to perform. It simply needs to be owned. And as you own it, it begins to do what it was always meant to do. Hold space, shift energy, awaken the hidden. And if you've come this far, maybe it's time to stop asking if you were marked, because you were. Before breath, before memory, before name. And your eyes have known it all along. So next time someone pauses and says, "There's something about your eyes," smile. Because now you understand, you don't just carry light. You are light remembering itself. You don't need to explain it. You only need to honor it. Look again in the mirror tonight. Not just to see your reflection, but to meet your origin. Because you weren't sent here to blend in. You were sent here to see. And to help others remember what can't be spoken. The eyes of the marked don't shout, but they never go unnoticed, and neither will you. And if your soul feels called to go deeper, wait for what comes next. Because what your presence awakens in others is just beginning to unfold.